what was some of the biggest lessons that you learned when you're working in corporate?
Yeah, so I was in corporate America for 14 plus years.
14 years,
So
nice. Yeah,
yeah, 14 years, right? And I mean, there are so many incredible lessons I learned, right?
yeah, yeah.
I think some of the key lessons I learned. Number one, having a process that's scalable is really critical.
Hmm.
That's really that's something
A
I
product that
learned.
is scalable, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a product that is scalable for sure, but a
Hmm.
process
A
that's
process.
scalable,
Okay.
right? So, for example, like if I was to say just if I in 2007 when I went into outside sales, if I
Mm-hmm.
just did that for a year and started my own business,
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, I'm like, okay, I need to really manually grind out and just try to find as many people to talk to as possible. And that's kind of what salespeople just kind of do, right? They're like, okay, I'm gonna go networking events, I'm gonna call people, I'm gonna show up, I'm just gonna like, be everywhere like that. Well, you have to manually be there every time,
Yeah.
right? Versus if you can build a marketing system like what I've done,
Mm.
it takes a lot of work up front. You still need to do a lot of work with it, but it pays you back 100x over time, right?
Mm.
Because now you're finding me on YouTube. You're finding me in different areas because of all the stuff I'm doing up front from a marketing perspective, right?
Mm. Mm.
Not easy, long game. No
Yeah.
immediate gain by doing it, right? So I learned I needed to create scalable processes and systems that allows me to grow the business exponentially by doing the work up front, right? And that goes from a marketing system to anything from, it could be like, how do I hire someone, right? What's the common protocol and systems that I follow to find the best talent, right?
Mm.
How do I train and develop as a system, right? So the way I've always thought about it, it was, for example, when I first became a sales manager, if I could build a factory, a sales training factory, whoever went into the factory, when they came out, they were a superstar.
Mm.
How do I build that? So it's building something that will create something great, no matter who went inside.
Mm.
And that means you have a system that's scalable. So that meant, when I took my team, when I first, was a sales manager, I
Mm-hmm.
took my team and I only had 4 or 5 reps or 6 reps at the time.
Yep.
I grew it to 20 reps, right? And we exploded in growth and sales, right? But
Mm.
you cannot, multiply your team by 6, 7x, and assume that that's the type of results you're going to get
Mm.
unless you have a scalable system of training, hiring, managing people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
And then when I got promoted to a larger role where I had 110 employees and I had 11 sales leaders reporting into me, to repeat that in remote areas where I couldn't physically see them required a scalable process. So
Mm.
having that scalability is really, really critical. That was a major thing I learned in corporate America, right?
Mm.
Number two, that anticipation is truly power, right? To be able to anticipate exactly what's probably going to happen allows you to work backwards to get to that
Mm.
result you want to go to, right? So if I anticipate, like, hey, this is what's going to happen, like I've seen this happen before, like
Yep.
we're going to lull this time of year for sales. What could I do 3 months prior that would drive sales,
Mm.
right? So,
Okay.
for example, in the business I used to be in, historically, the third quarter would always be a lull because we were on a June to May fiscal calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So the third quarter was December, January, February. So the holiday weeks, automatically you were already out about 3 out of 13 weeks
Mm-hmm.
of productivity. People just
Yeah.
find ways to get distracted. Plus that vacation. So really, you're out basically. You think about 25%, 20%, or 30% of your quarter is gone.
Yeah.
So you need to find a way to make it up. So I would do all the things up front, that would drive the right activities and behaviors that will lead to a great December, January, February, right? But
Mm.
that required being proactive and understanding trends, right?
Yep.
So the challenge I run into now being a new business owner, I'm like, okay, this is my first year doing this.
Mm-hmm.
There's things I'm going to miss, but
Yeah.
I notate it. So every time, like every single Friday right now, this is something I learned early on. Every single Friday, I have a decision journal. I write down what were the major decisions I made for the business and why did I make it.
Okay. A
It could be
decision
wrong
journal.
still. Oh
Okay.
yeah. just to allow me to really think about it
Mm-hmm.
and go from there. Like, you know what? That didn't work this week. You know what? That thing that I decided a month ago, which I
Mm-hmm.
thought would be a huge, awesome thing, it didn't work. For example, I put together a webinar that I thought would be wildly popular, and do really, really well. It's basically how to use LinkedIn to sell.
Okay.
Did awesome. Great. A lot of people signed up for, really good attendance, great results from it, right? In terms of people being engaged, but from conversions from that into, into my digital program was not the level I expected. It was low. I thought, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is not right. Like, but then I thought more about, like, you know what? Like, it wasn't enough of a correlation, right? So I taught something that was almost too specific,
Mm-hmm.
and my offer at the end did not align very well with it. So the messaging was off, and this is where I dissected it after, right?
Did
So
you
like,
advertise on Facebook? It was Facebook
so
advertising, yeah?
so Facebook advertising, I'm still working on that. I'm still learning how to effectively do that, right? To me, it's like, I I've done decent reach, but I'm not getting the conversions I'd like, right? So I'm still tweaking, like, hey, how's my copy on there? How's like the image? I've been tested videos on there.
Yeah.
So I've been testing a little bit.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything that's been like a bang. I'm like, wow, this has been crazy conversions. This costing me $1.12 a lead. I haven't seen anything like that yet. So I'm still tweaking it to
Yeah.
get to the level I want, right?
Okay, cool.
So
Cool.
it's a different game for me. It's something new for me. I never used
Mm.
that before until I became an entrepreneur.